Hey guys, I'm glad to have you back on my channel. If you are new, hello, or should I say, hola, bienvenido, because we're in Spain, specifically Mallorca. I'm Andrea, I'm a travel agent and a photographer, and I love combining my two passions, travel and photography. And I'm finally on an info trip, and I'm not in Egypt. You have been waiting for this, right? I know you have. Though, you know, Egypt is my favorite country and I would love to be there right now, but I love Spain as well. So I've never been to Mallorca before. This is new for me, but I did have a feeling as I were in Tenerife when I stepped outside the airport. I don't know, I just had some flashbacks from my trip there. And you know, I have really beautiful memories. So we are somewhere between Alcudia and Can Picafort, somewhere in the middle. Right behind me is the beach, and I'm just trying to find our schedule. It was quite a crazy week. We still have tomorrow. We have some visits. Our days usually start in the morning around 9:30. We spend the day visiting different hotels across Mallorca, and while everyone was exploring, I was busy filming the hotel tours that you'll be able to find on my channel. What I loved the most was seeing a different side of Mallorca's accommodation scene. Many of the properties were smaller and more intimate than the large resorts I'm used to seeing in destinations like Egypt. By around 1 p.m. it was time for lunch. We usually stop for this at the hotel we are visiting, and this is giving us the opportunity to experience what each property has to offer. And you know, it was a crazy week, but it was also fun because each day we had something to visit other than hotels. So like on our first day we had an excursion to Palma de Mallorca, which was really amazing. After the hotel visits, we had around 2.5 hours to explore Palma on our own. The group eventually split up and I found myself wandering through the city alone. At first, it felt a little strange, but looking back, it turned out to be one of the best parts of the day. Exploring on my own meant I could follow my curiosity, take my time, and visit the places that genuinely interested me. One stop I was especially excited about was finding this little print machine, mini prints by El Buson at Cafe Sphere. I'd seen it online before the trip and I knew I wanted to visit. It's a small vending machine for art prints where each print costs just €1 and the design is a surprise. There are 6 prints. Somehow I was lucky enough to get one of my favorites, along with another beautiful one that I later gave to my friend. From there, I continued exploring Palma at my own pace, wandering through its streets, picking up a few souvenirs and discovering hidden corners of the city. One of my favorite stops was the Arab Baths. The entrance was only a few euros, 3 or 5, but the peaceful atmosphere, beautiful architecture and tranquil garden made it feel like a real hidden gem. I also made my way down to the marina and, completely by chance, found myself standing in front of the iconic Palma sign. It wasn't part of my plan, but sometimes those unexpected discoveries end up becoming the best memories. By the end of the afternoon, I had completely fallen in love with Palma. The architecture, the atmosphere, the history, and the energy of the city all came together to create the perfect ending of the day. On our second day, we had an excursion to Valldemossa, which is such a beautiful little place, and it just reminded me so much of Monemvasia. So if you've been to Peloponnese and you visited Monemvasia, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've seen my Peloponnese vlogs, I have a vlog that includes our visit there. So yeah, it's almost like it's a bit more touristy, Valldemossa, but you have the same feeling. Like you have those really beautiful houses that are made of bricks and stones, you know, the little alleys. It's really beautiful. One of the excursions I had been looking forward to the most was Valldemossa, a picturesque mountain village tucked away in the Tramuntana mountains of Majorca. As I wandered through its narrow streets and stone houses decorated with flowers, I could immediately see why it's considered one of the most beautiful villages of the island. In fact, Valldemossa is famous for its connection to the composer Frédéric Chopin and the French writer Georges Sand, who spent the winter of 1838 here. Their stay at the local monastery later inspired books, music, and countless visitors from around the world. The village also has a long religious history. According to local tradition, Majorca's only saint, Santa Catalina Tomás, was born here in the 16th century, and you'll notice ceramic plaques dedicated to her on many of the village's houses. As I explored, I couldn't help but think of Monemvasia in Peloponnese, Greece, another beautiful historic town that I visited a couple of years ago. Both places have the same timeless atmosphere, where every street seems to tell a story and every corner feels like a postcard. As we explored, we stopped at a local shop that offered tastings of traditional liquors. There were so many flavors to try that I honestly lost count, but a few definitely stood out. The tangerine liquor was delicious, the coconut one was surprisingly good, and the star anise variety had a unique flavor that I wasn't expecting. In the end, the tangerine liquor won me over, and I couldn't leave without taking a bottle home. Another highlight was spending time with one of my colleagues who is also a photographer. She helped me take a few photos around the village, and thanks to her, I have some wonderful memories from one of Mallorca's most charming destinations. On our third day, we had a very short excursion to Kathmandu Park because we visited the hotel, Kathmandu Hotel, and we also had this visit to the park included, but it was a bit unfavorable because we had our visits in the morning, then we had lunch, and then we had free time. That's how we were scheduled. And now that we have a little free time until we go see our last hotel, let's go see the beach, shall we? And look, we were there just this morning. Oh, it is so cool. I mean, look at the color of this water. It's really beautiful here. How cute are these rocks? They're like from the moon. I wasn't really looking for anything in particular. I wanted to take a few photos, enjoy the view, and simply spend some time by the sea. It turned out to be one of those quiet moments that you don't always plan for, but end up appreciating the most. Sitting by the water, listening to the waves, it was just me and my thoughts. It was a chance to slow down for a while. And in the evening, before our dinner, we had this visit at Kathmandu Hotel, and before that, the excursion to the park. So we kind of did that. Most of the group didn't want to go. I wanted because it seemed like such a cool and interesting park for kids, but it was interesting, and I would have loved to make like a separate video, but the park was already closed, so we didn't go around the whole park, you know, just parts of it. So I'm sorry, I can't do a full video about that, but... Later that evening, we had one final visit scheduled at Seoul Kathmandu Park and Resort. After a quick hotel tour, we were given a brief look at the theme park itself. Unfortunately, the park had already closed for the day, so we weren't able to explore all of the attractions. And I was especially curious about the safari-themed area, which I had spotted from a distance, but It was located further inside the park and we didn't get the chance to visit it. Even so, from what we saw, the park looked like a fun addition for families staying at the resort. Yesterday was such a cool day. We started it with the excursion to Caves of Drach. But we arrived too early, so two of my colleagues and I explored a bit around and we did a little hike. It was like a short, very short hike, but it was very worth it because we arrived to this beautiful, beautiful place. And the cave was amazing. It did remind me a bit, I don't know why, of St. Michael's Cave in Gibraltar. Some parts of it resembled, but the most beautiful thing was, and unfortunately we couldn't film, and I totally get why, was there was this lake and they turned off the lights, so it was pitch dark, and they came with 3 or 4, I can't remember, little boats, wide boats, and they had, they were illuminated. They presented us, they had a live concert. It was spectacular. They played classical musics, and the last one they played was actually a song that was played in the Titanic movie. And honestly, it was so beautiful, the whole experience, that I got tears in my eyes. It was beautiful. You guys, if you have the chance, it's definitely worth a visit. After that, we had some hotel visits, or as they say, orientation. I learned this new term when I was in Sharm el-Sheikh, so orientation it is. And yeah, that was it for the day. After visiting Cuevas del Drach, we made a short stop in Porto Cristo. Today, we started a day, again, very beautifully, in Alcudia Market. It was very, very beautiful, and finally the weather was warmer. We've had some days that were pretty chilly, and today I have this dress on. I will show you later, and I was happy that it wasn't chilly, so I could wear it without any problems. So we started the day by visiting Alcudia, where we had some time to explore the famous market and the historic old town. To be honest, I didn't have particularly high expectations for this visit. I thought it would be a nice stop, but I wasn't expecting it to become one of my favorite places from the entire trip. The market itself was lively and full of local products, souvenirs and handmade goods, but what really won me over was the town itself. Alcudia's narrow streets, historic buildings and relaxed atmosphere made it feel incredibly charming. One of the highlights was walking along the medieval walls that surround the old town. Being able to climb up and stroll along them felt like stepping back in time. And from the top, I was treated to a beautiful view over the rooftops and surrounding landscape, and it quickly became one of my favorite moments of the day. Once again, I found myself exploring alone, but by this point, I had fully embraced it. There was something incredibly peaceful about wandering through the streets at my own pace, discovering hidden corners, taking photos, and simply enjoying the atmosphere without feeling rushed. Of course, I couldn't leave without picking up a few souvenirs along the way, which I'll be showing later in a little haul at the end of this vlog. Sometimes the places you expect the least from end up leaving the biggest impression, and for me, Alcudia was exactly that. And after visiting the market, we had orientation again, but we had only 3 hotels, including the one we are staying at. And we have the afternoon free. So I'm gonna go down to the beach and I'm gonna take you guys along. We went up to the Sky Bar and the view is just amazing from up there. Also, we have some invitations from 8 p.m. We are kind of VIP today. And yeah, just enjoy ourselves, have some drinks, and that view is everything, let me tell you. Wow, I can't believe how beautiful the water is. I mean, I'm gonna use my 70 to 200mm lens. It's been used quite often this week. It's not the only lens I brought. I brought my 28 to 70, but I found that even in the market or like even in Palma, I used this because I needed the zoom. And whenever I don't want to get close to something, it's really handy. So I can't wait to see what photos I will take today here. It's just amazing. Tomorrow is the last full day and we have an excursion to Cap Formentor lookout point, which should be amazing again. I can't wait. And I am planning on wearing a red dress, so hopefully I can take some great pictures and we will have some visits, and that will be it for this info trip. The day after we have our flight back. It's a bit tiring because it's with stops, so it's not a direct flight. But I don't mind. For this whole experience, it was totally worth it. Like most days on this trip, the morning began with hotel visits. We explored several more properties, enjoyed a well-deserved coffee break that usually came around the third or fourth hotel. It may sound like a small thing, but those short breaks quickly became a much appreciated part of our daily routine. The hotels we visited continued to impress me, and by this point I felt incredibly grateful for the opportunity to experience so many different sides of Mallorca's hospitality scene. Later in the afternoon, we left the hotels behind and headed toward one of the island's most famous landscapes, Cap de Formentor. Our first stop was at Mirador Colomer, one of Mallorca's most spectacular viewpoints. Before we could fully admire the scenery, however, we were distracted by an unexpected local resident, a goat that had somehow managed to steal a bag of chips. It was both hilarious and cute. Although we didn't continue all the way to the lighthouse at Cap Formentor, the view from the Mirador alone was absolutely breathtaking. Standing there looking out over the dramatic cliffs, the turquoise sea, and the rugged coastline, I couldn't help but feel incredibly lucky to be experiencing it all. After taking in the views, our guide treated us to one final surprise: about an hour of free time at Playa de Formentor. It was the perfect way to end the excursion. I spent some time on the beach, took a few photos, and simply enjoyed the peaceful surroundings. I even managed to take some photos of myself by placing my camera on a tree trunk and controlling it from my phone. Sometimes you have to get a little creative, and honestly, I was pretty happy with how the photos turned out. Well, today was the last day, unfortunately, but it was such a cool day. So after 3 hotel visits, we had this excursion, and then we could spend an hour on the beach, and it was so relaxing, so nice. The weather was just perfect. I wore my dress, so I really nailed my outfit for today. It was planned, by the way. I always plan my outfits. And now I will show you quickly what I got, so I will do a little haul. This time actually I got some really cool souvenirs, so let's start with this garlic, and not only garlic grater, but like I love that it's a souvenir from here. It says Majorca, and I can't wait to try it out. I really love the pattern. And yeah, it got really popular, so I wanted to get one for such a long time, and I was like, you know what, I love the pattern, it's from Mallorca, so it would make a great souvenir. Then I got some magnets, 3 of these. I really love that they are just as they have on the houses, like the numbers of the house, and yeah, it's a really cool design. I got 2 more magnets from Alcudia. I just couldn't resist. They were so pretty. Of course, I got some postcards. Of course, some of these are gifts for my friends, so I got these postcards from Valldemossa. The back is really beautiful as well. And actually, I'm thinking of, at least for my own postcards, to write kind of like a little letter for myself from each vacation, like from each destination. I think it would be fun, you know, to not have just a plain postcard, which is pretty cool, but to actually have something written for my future self. And these ones are from, I think I got these from Palma. I just loved each one of them. They are so pretty. And I saw these birthday cards, and they are just adorable. And speaking of postcards, I got 3 postcards from that very viral little awesome postcard like machine from Palma. I got 2 of this model. They are random, so you get I think they have 6 prints, and well, if you want a specific one you have to be lucky. But I am really happy with the ones that I got. And the last one, it's really cute. So these are my postcards. And now moving on to some more interesting stuff, maybe. I got some soy candles. They are the same. So these are blood orange soy candles. I really love the little cans that they are in, and they did smell good. So I'm gonna gift one to my best friend's fiance. She will be so happy about this. And I also got some peppers. I have this one with this pack. They come in like 3 packs. So this one is with hibiscus, pistachio, and with black pepper. This one is with wasabi, hibiscus, and basil and lemon. And the last one is with roses and salt flakes. So this one is flor de sal, salt flower, and a lemon. I also got some drinks as well. So I have this liquor. It's a creamy orange liquor. I bet this is fabulous. And next up I have another liquor. It's from mandarin or tangerine, licor de mandarina. It tasted so good. And last but not least, yesterday we went to Alcudia Market and I saw some really nice pants that I'm gonna show you. I will try them on. And I got like a little shirt for my mom. I hope that she will like the color and the size will be just right. So yeah, I'm gonna show you those. Okay, so this is the shirt that I got for my mom. I love that it's so like flowy. This is how it looks like on me. And honestly, I loved the color. I love how flowy it is, and I really hope that it will be the right size for her and she will love the color as well. So these are the pants for me. Don't mind the top. Actually, I got them over my dress. So yeah, I really love the fabric in the first place. I love this detail. I think it looks so chic. And I love that they are like a bit straight, but like they are very, very comfy. Chicos, thank you so much for coming along with me on this really, really amazing info trip in Mallorca. I hope you liked this vlog. I hope it was interesting, and I do think that we saw some amazing places, and you know, I think it will be great for this travel agent in info trip series, something else, not just Egypt. So gracias a todas, hasta el próximo. Bye guys.